Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Shantae Risky's Revenge. In the last part we finished the Hypno Baron's Labyrinth and now let's talk to our friends. Shantae, there you are. We're looking all over for you. What's going on? Where's Uncle Mimic? You're not going to like this. We found a ransom note in his workshop. Oh no. Take a look. Maybe you should sit down. No, please read it. Risky Boots says she took your uncle and will trade his life for the 3 magic seals you've got. She's hiding out in the Lamb's original resting place, somewhere east of here. Do you know what she's talking about? Poor uncle, this is all my fault. East? That means he's over by the mayor's private retreat? Don't be stupid. That'll put him near the old boathouse. What kind of moron doesn't know east from west? Please don't argue. I need help coming up with a plan. I can help. Hey, Squid Baron, how you been since you exploded? Who's this guy? You've got it all wrong. Risky Boots didn't take your old friend. It was that zombie gal. Rowdy Tops? She'd never. Besides, why should I believe you? Didn't you explode in a huge stage clear sequence? Hey, don't blame me for putting up a fight. The pirate lady was threatening me and my babies if I didn't hand over my magic seal. She really shook things up and now my kids have run off. Whether you believe me or not, that zombie and pirate are in cahoots, and that's a fact. This sounds fishy. Why would you come here? Why distract a deal, naturally? Miss Boots will be expecting you to fight on her terms, but there's a back door to her hideout that might just give you an advantage. If you agree to save my 3 golden babies, I'll show you how to open the path to Risky's hideout. Either way, she knows I'm coming. What do you guys think? If Risky's hideout's underwater, my birds can't do squat for you. You might have to trust this guy. He might be a stinker, but I think he's telling the truth. Okay, you've got yourself a deal. Where do I start? My babies are probably hiding in the undersea caverns close by. One of them has an artifact that'll help you enter the back door to Risky's lair. Let's get this done quickly. Uncle Mimic needs me. Well, luckily I already have all 3 of them. You've done it. You found all 3 of my babies. I'm fit to burst. Well, Genie Girl, a deal's a deal. Come on, kiddos. Whoever has the artifact, give it to the nice lady. And we get the mermaid bubble. While swimming as a mermaid, attack to fire bubbles. With that thing, you can fire bubbles in mermaid form. In addition to blasting enemies, you can also destroy the undersea blockades. Risky's lair is east of here, just outside town, the deepest part of the sea. Well, what are you waiting for? Kick her butt. Take her down hard. And once you do, snap some close-ups. It's time for a showdown. Hold on, Uncle. I'm on my way. Now, the undersea blockades are first off the thing that blocks off the infinite money room. But it's also, with that, we can now access every other power-up in the game. So instead of going to help our uncle, let's go do some collecting, shall we? First off, though, let's go into the freaking shop as it is and buy some stuff that we can now do so with. That was grammar, shut up. So first off, let's buy the Crush Puff and the Attract Magic. So now first off, we attract items directly to ourselves like a magnet, and we can also do a thing which is have a higher powered Storm Puff, which I'm probably never going to use. First off, back in the Hypno Baron's Labyrinth, we want to head back to the mermaid room where we got the mermaid. Because as you might remember, there was a blockade that we saw there that we can now blow up with the mermaid bubble. Really, this part of the game is the one part that makes some people I know not want to 100% the game after the first time through. Because you do have to do a decent amount of backtrack in order to get everything. In specific, the Magic Jam we're heading after right now, because most of the stuff that we have to get now is just Magic Jam, and thus the upgrades that we can buy with said Magic Jams. Mind you, I've played worse when it comes to backtracking. Metroid Zero Mission and Fusion in particular get pretty bad with that. Prime 2 especially gets really bad with backtracking at the end of the game before the final bosses, thanks to the Sky Temple keys or whatever they were called. Because that was just bad. By the way, if I sound slightly different, that's because I've actually been toying around with the audio settings a tad bit more, looking up what's better audio quality for voices. I changed around the kilohertz rather, and hopefully it sounds better. If it doesn't, just tell me in the comments below, please, or I can just listen to it afterwards, I suppose. But either way. As I brought up before, I really do wish that the dungeons had maps in this game. I think I said the same thing back in Shantae 1, that dungeons don't have maps, and I wish they did, because not having them is kind of a faulty design element in my head. Thankfully, Pirate's Curse alleviates a lot of the problems I've had with both games so far. But I'll get to that when I eventually get freaking risky Pirate's Curse, which I do want to do not soon, but well, not too soon, but eventually. I'll probably record it sometime early next year. Well, early next year meaning early 2016, by the way, because it's still October for me. 6 days until Halloween, actually. Admittedly, though, backtracking through dungeons is something that I think all three games do to an extent. Shantae 1 did it. It was fairly minor for the most part. It was just to get a warp squid or two. This is pretty bad because you have to backtrack pretty far in to get a magic gem. Pirate's Curse, I think you can not do... I think you can technically get most of the stuff you have to get in that game fairly quickly. But it all depends on how you do it, really. I know I'll be abusing at least one sequence break to show it off. Either way, get into the mermaid. Once you're back in the mermaid room, jump into the water and head over to that blockade we saw before. I really do like the mermaid's animations, though. That's pretty good. Then again, Way Forward, as I've stated before, knows how to animate well. So does Lab Zero. And I really hope Indivisible gets funded, because that game looks like it'll be fantastic. Either way, finally, there's Magic Jam number 13 out of 17. I would have done a call-out like I do for the Legend of Zelda games to show the Magic Jams, but I didn't feel like making one. Because if it's not obvious enough, by Link to the Past and such, and Batman, I do Photoshop thumbnails now, so I'm able to do a thing as well. Either way, back in, I think it was the Lilac Fields. Use the Elephant Stomp there, break the blocks, and get Magic Jam number 14. Now, I think we're heading back to Tangle Forest. I know that for a fact, but I forget where in Tangle Forest. Oh, that's right, that's where we're going. We're heading back to the second plane, because there's a screen to the left there that I never quite showed off. But anyway, as you can see here, this is what I meant earlier in the game by the Lilac and Pumpkin Fields getting slightly harder as you progress through the game, because they add later enemies to it. It's a design it's a design element. It is a feature I like and dislike at the same time. Because I agree that it makes it harder, but it kind of makes it harder by cheapness, because some enemies can just get shots on you that are fairly hard to dodge. That is fairly hard to dodge. It's not just the field to do it too as well, because as you can see, we have skeletons in here now from Hypno Baron Labyrinth. By the way, jump up this wall all the way now. And at the top awaits a cave. Which, by the way, I don't know why they make you transform to enter and exit doors. I can understand it with maybe the elephant and mermaid, but the monkey... Guys, you don't need to do that, because the monkey can fit through the doors. Monkey bolt your way across. And open the chest for... Magic Jam number 15. I think. Yeah, 15. Either way, next up, we want to head back to the pumpkin section of Tangle Forest. Pretty much the weird prototype... No, not prototype. Secondary pumpkin fields that's in the last plane of this forest. Because you might remember there was a cave I opened, but I never entered there a couple parts back. That is because we needed things that we didn't have yet to do stuff in there. In particular, the monkey bullet mixed with the Spitfire. I technically had the Spitfire, and I've had the monkey bullet for a while now, but I wasn't over here until now, so that's why I didn't go and do that. I like to do things as streamlined as possible for the most part, though there are times that I've obviously done in the past where I will backtrack far out of the way to get something. Super Metroid immediately comes to mind, where there were 2 points I backtracked to the old Torian in order to get 2 super missiles. No, a missile and a super missile. That's just because that place is out of the way no matter what you do, really. At least for my general route. Ow. Anyway, the way this room works is... This is actually one of the harder item areas to go through. You have to position yourself first to use Spitfire correctly. Which is actually surprisingly annoying to do. And then you have to start using the monkey bullet to get across. And don't fall down. Ugh. The monkey bullet could have been handled a tad better, like if the monkey didn't slide down and you had a bit more precise control, it would have been a bit better. Monkey bullet across, which actually is probably a mistake to make, actually. The thing I recommend you do is actually jump across the pit first, which is what I do here, actually. And then start using, not the Spitfire, I recommend you actually use the initial fire attack to just do stuff. Actually, no, I do use the... By the way, yeah, I do use the normal fire attack. Get the first 2 in, I'd say. You could make it do with just 1 done, like I do here, but the 2 is probably much more safe. Transform back into Shantae, whip away, and open this chest for Magic Jam number 16. And then fall out and then go back in. And now I'm gonna jump cut back to Squid Baron's Labyrinth, because, as I mentioned earlier when we were first here, actually, there's one room in here fairly early on that has water in the bottom. And until you got the mermaid, you cannot get the magic gem that was in there. Thankfully, this isn't as offensive as the magic gem in Hypnobaron's Labyrinth, because you don't have to go through many rooms to get to it. I'd say maybe 5 at most. Yeah, we're already here. Thankfully, backtracking to the first dungeon has been around since the first game. And I'm gonna need to do it, actually, in Private Curse to show off a little extra something. But it's kind of stupid here, if you ask me. We also see this enemy again, who we rarely ever see. Also, if it's not entirely obvious from my gem counts, by the way, Magic Jam number, I think, is that the final one? Yeah, actually, I think that's the final one. Yeah, 17, we have them all. Anyway, I was doing something before, but I can't remember what. Either way, we're back in, Words. Tangle Force, because I think we're, for the most part, done. Yeah. Wait, do we have every heart holder? I think we do. I forget, honestly. Yeah, we do. That's kind of strange. I could have sworn there were 7 hearts total. But yeah, the beta screenshot I've talked about numerous times. She has like 9 or so hearts, I want to say. Maybe 12, maybe 10. It really does show that they were going to do a lot more with the game, but either due to data constraints, due to DSiWare's very low file size limit, or the time constraints that they just weren't able to do it. And that's sad, but that happens to a lot of games. Sonic 06 immediately comes to mind. Because it's sad that the beta of that game that they released as a demo was more advanced, but they had to revert to a more stable build. Wasn't it because they had to rush out the game for Christmas because Sega or Xbox wanted them to? I forget. That game could have been so much more. In fact, I'm surprised that the fan base hasn't tried to remake it yet as a better game, because the Sonic fan base, while very loud, can be very dedicated. Either way, now that we have all the magic gems, we can buy the final stuff, the Mega Puff, which I'll never use, and the Super Silky Cream to max out our attack. But first I wanted to get potions, which means I had to do some gem grinding back at the Battle Tower. Yeah, I jumped up about 300 gems. It's 300 gems when you complete the Battle Tower then. And get the Super Silky Cream to increase our attack. I forget if it increases your attack speed or your attack strength, though. So I apologize for that. And with that, we're good to go. We have everything, so we can head to the final dungeon. I don't know why I'm heading over here. Why'd I head over here? Either way, with that, though, we're pretty much going to need to end this off here. Why am I entering this place again? Oh, I'm being stupid. Oh, you know what it was? I think I accidentally went the wrong way, so I intended to cut there, but too late. I'm already commentating, not doing it. With that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 10, we are actually ending off the game. See you guys then.